Now, let us begin our class with Brahmanad. Om. Om. Shanti. 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 Swastha. Good morning, children. Today we will discuss the remaining portion of the lesson The Doctor's Word by R.K. Narayan. In our earlier video, we discussed who was Dr. Raman and how was his friendship with Gopal. At the same time, we discussed also how did Dr. Raman come to know about the illness of his dearest friend Gopal. When he came to know about the illness of his dearest friend Gopal, he could not go to the house of his dearest friend immediately, as it was the operation day and many patients had come to his clinic for their treatment. He was not free till 3 in the afternoon, and when he became free from his job, he did not go home for his lunch, but straight away from his clinic he went to his friend's house, which was in Lawley Extension Road. After reaching in the house of his dearest friend Gopal, he found his friend was lying in bed as if in sleep. He asked a few questions to his friend's wife, and when he found that the family members of his friend were apologetic and miserable, he did not ask any more question but started giving his treatment to his friend Gopal. He diagnosed the disease of his dearest friend Gopal and knew that there was no time to be lost to save the life of his dearest friend Gopal. So he opened his bag and took an injection tube, and the needle was boiled over the stove and an injection was given to the patient. After giving an injection to the patient, he waited for an hour to find some improvement in him. But when Dr. Raman did not find any improvement in the patient, he decided to perform an operation of the patient in his house itself. So without saying anything to his friend's wife, he went to his clinic. But when he went to his clinic, he said to his friend's wife that the patient should not be disturbed on any account. And he returned within a quarter of an hour. But this time he did not come alone. He was followed by an assistant and a nurse. Thereafter he said to his friend's wife that he had to perform an immediate operation. Hearing about the operation of her husband, the lady of the house, or Gopal's house, felt dizzy and he sank down on the floor. The nurse, taken by Dr. Raman, consoled her and took her to the next room. So the operation was performed in the house of the patient itself. At about 8 in the evening, the patient opened his eyes and stirred. Stirred means moved. Moved slightly in bed. See, the operation was performed after 4 p.m. and the patient came to his sense at about 8 in the evening and made a slight movement in bed. The assistant was overjoyed. The assistant taken by Dr. Raman was very delighted finding the patient coming to his sense and making a little movement in bed. So the assistant was overjoyed and he exclaimed enthusiastically. Enthusiastically means amusedly, "Sir, he will pull through." And what did he inform to Dr. Raman? The assistant informed to Dr. Raman that the patient would pull through. Pull through means recover. Pull through. Pull through means recover from illness. This was what the assistant informed to Dr. Raman when he found the patient coming to his sense and making a slight movement in bed. The doctor looked at him coldly. Coldly means write down indifferently, without showing any interest. Coldly. Coldly. Coldly means what? Coldly means indifferently. The doctor, here the doctor refers to Dr. Raman, looked at his assistant coldly and spoke in a low voice. "I would give anything to see him through." See, he said he would give anything to see his friend recover from his illness. "I would give anything to see him through, but the heart, dot, dot, dot." He diagnosed that he had a heart attack. The patient had a heart attack and the heart was not functioning properly. So he suspected the heart, dot, dot, dot. Then the doctor was informed by his assistant, "Sir, the pulse has improved." The doctor replied, well, don't trust all these things. Don't trust it. It is only a false flush of. Here, flush of means a sudden flash of. FLASH. Flash of means a sudden ray of hope. It is only a false flash of and very common in the heart patients and very common in these cases. Dr. Raman ruminated. Ruminated means pondered, PONDERED, pondered over or thought deeply. Ruminated means here thought deeply or pondered, PONDERED, pondered over for a while and added. Added means said, "If the pulse will keep up till 8 in the morning, it will go on for the next 40 years. The same pulse rate, as the pulse rate has improved, if the same pulse rate will remain the same till 8 a.m. next day morning, then there won't be any problem for the patient and it will go on for the next 40 years. But Dr. Raman doubted very much that the same pulse rate would not be there till 8 a.m. next day morning. But I doubt very much if we shall see anything of it at all after 2 that night. He was sure the same pulse rate would not be there till 8 a.m. next day morning. He doubted very much if they they would see anything of it at all after tonight. That means there would be disturbance in the pulse rate after 2 that night. And Dr. Raman was sure the patient would hardly survive till 2 a.m. that night. Till 2 that night. He sent away the assistant and sat beside the patient. What did doctor do thereafter? Thereafter, Dr. Raman sent back the assistant. But he himself did not leave the side of his dearest friend Gopal after sending away the patient. Dr. Raman sat beside his friend Gopal. At about 11, the patient opened his eyes and smiled at his friend. See, when he came to sense at 8 that night, he could make a slight movement in bed. Again, he went asleep. He opened his eyes again at about 11 at night. At about 11, the patient opened his eyes and smiled at his friend. But this time, he could identify his friend and others. Finding his friend Dr. Raman sitting by his side, he gave a smile to him. He smiled at his friend. This time, the patient showed a little improvement. He showed a slight improvement. And he was able to eat a little food. He was able to take in a little food. Finding the patient coming to his sense, recognizing the family members and others, and was able to take in little food, all were very happy. So there spread a great feeling of relief and joy among the family members. A great feeling of relief and joy went through the household, went through the family members of Gopal. They swarmed. Swarmed around means gathered around. Swarmed around means crowded around. Here the family members of Gopal swarmed around Dr. Raman and started pouring their gratitude on him. They swarmed around the doctor and poured out or showered their gratefulness, thankfulness to Dr. Raman. He sat in his seat beside the bed, gazing sternly. Sternly means rigidly, without showing any sign of joy to the family members of Gopal. Dr. Raman sat in his seat beside the bed of the patient, gazing sternly at the patient's face, hardly showing any sign of hearing what the family members of his friend were saying to him. The sick man's wife doubted when she found that there was no joy or there was no happiness in Dr. Raman. So she doubted very much. The sick man's wife asked, "Is he now out of danger?" As she doubted, she asked Dr. Raman if her husband was out of danger. See, when someone asks us anything, we look at him or them and answer. But Dr. Raman did not turn his head. Without turning his head, the doctor said, give glucose and brandy every 40 minutes. Just a couple of spoons. See, what was the reply of Dr. Raman when he was asked by the lady of the house? What was Dr. Raman asked by Gopal's wife? He was asked whether the condition of the patient was out of danger. Without turning his head, the doctor said, give glucose and brandy every 40 minutes. Just a couple of spoons will do. The lady refers to Gopal's wife, went away to kitchen as she understood that the condition of her husband was not out of danger. So she went away to the kitchen. She felt restless. She must know the truth, whether her husband would recover from illness or pass away. So she felt she must know the truth, whatever it was, whether her husband would recover from his illness or die. Why was the great man? As I have already said to you, here a great man refers to Dr. Raman. Why was the great man so evasive? Evasive means avoiding the straightforward answer, or evasive means avoidance. Avoiding the straightforward answer. Why was the great man so evasive? The suspense was unbearable. She thought perhaps Dr. Raman could not speak the truth near the patient. So she went to the kitchen room. Perhaps she could not speak so near the patient's bed. So after going to the kitchen room, she beckoned. Beckoned means called through a sign. She beckoned to him from the kitchen doorway. As doctor was called by his friend's wife, he followed the call. He followed what he was said by the lady of the house. So the doctor rose. Here rose is the past tense of rise. Stood up and went over. And when Dr. Raman went to the kitchen door, he was asked by his friend's wife, what about him now? What about him? That means, what about my husband? Now, tell me whether he is out of danger, whether he will recover from his illness or die. What about him now? How is he? The doctor bit, B-I-T. It is the past tense of bite. So what did he do? He started biting his lips when he was asked to tell the lady of the house about the condition of the patient. The doctor started biting his lips and replied, looking at the floor. So while replying to the lady of the house, he did not look at her face. While replying, he looked at the floor and said, Don't get yourself excited. Don't get excited unless you must know about it. And don't ask me anything. Don't ask me now. As a grown-up lady, as a mature lady, she did not take much time to understand. She understood that the condition of her husband was very critical and he was not out of danger. So, what did he do? Her eyes opened wide in terror. She clasped. Clasped means folded. CLASPED. Clasped means folded. Folded her hands. She clasped her hands together and implored. Implored means requested earnestly. Implored. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Dr. Raman replied, I would rather, expressing the wish. I would rather not to talk to you. I would rather not talk to you. He turned round and went back to his chair. Hardly he had reached the bedside of his friend, he heard a terrible wailing. Wailing means crying. A terrible crying shot through. Here, shot through means spread. Shot through. Spread the still or quiet house. A terrible wailing shot through the still house. Hearing the cry of his wife, Gopal moved. Gopal or the patient moved and looked about in bewilderment. Bewilderment means what? Perplexed, puzzled. The doctor again got up, went to the kitchen door to stop the cry of the lady of the house. The doctor got up again, went over to the kitchen door and drew it in securely. Securely means properly, and shut off the veil. And the cry should not reach to the room where Gopal was lying in his bed. When the doctor resumed here say it is used as a verb. Resumed means to continue after an interval. And when resume is used as a noun, it means biodata or profile or curriculum vitae. Here resumed means shut down. Here it is used as a verb. When the doctor resumed his seat, the patient asked in the faintest possible way, faintest whisper possible. In a very slow voice, the patient asked, Doctor, is that someone crying? This was what Gopal asked Dr. Raman. Is that someone crying? Dr. Raman advised, don't exert yourself. Exert means make use of oneself both mentally and physically. Remember, exert, and the noun form of exert is exertion. And what have I told you the meaning of the word exert? To make use of someone both mentally and physically. And Dr. Raman advised the patient not to exert himself too much. The doctor advised, don't exert yourself. You must not talk. Then he felt the pulse. He checked. He felt the pulse means he checked the pulse of the patient. And it was already agitated. Here agitated means disturbed. The pulse rate of the patient was already disturbed. He felt the pulse. It was already agitated by the exertion. Here exertion is used as the noun form of exert. As I have said to you, exert means what? To make use of oneself both mentally and physically. The patient asked. Gopal asked, finding Dr. Raman by his bedside, am I going? Am I going? That means, am I going to die? Don't hide it. Don't hide it from me. When this was asked by Gopal, Dr. Raman made a deprecating noise. Deprecating noise. That means a disapproval. A noise of disapproval. No. Nothing would happen. You recover from your illness. This way, Dr. Raman replied to his dearest friend Gopal. When he was asked whether the patient was going to die, am I going? Don't hide it from me. The doctor made a deprecating noise and sat back in his chair. In fact, Dr. Raman had never faced such a situation before in life. Whatever he diagnosed, he told the truth to his patients and their people. He was never wavering or whitewashing. But here, in the case of his dearest friend Gopal, he could not speak the truth, neither to his dearest friend Gopal nor to his friend's wife. He had never faced a situation like this before in life. It was not in his nature, as we know the nature of Dr. Raman. It was not in his nature to whitewash, as you know the meaning of whitewash. What does it mean? To hide somebody's unpleasant truth. It was not his nature to hide somebody's unpleasant fact or the truth. That was the reason why people attached great value to the words of Dr. Raman. People attached great value to the words of Dr. Raman because of that. He stole a look at the other. See, when we are speaking a lie, we can't see the face of the person to whom we speak. He could not see the face of his dearest friend Gopal while answering to him. He stole a look at the other. The patient means Gopal motioned a finger, called him to come nearer. The patient motioned a finger to draw him nearer and whispered, asked in a low voice, I must know how long I am going to last. He wanted to know, the patient wanted to know how long he was going to live in this world. I must know how long I am going to last. I must sign the will. Will, you know, the legal document of the property. The will. It is all ready. The will is all ready. Ask my wife for the dispatch box. Your dispatch box means the box where we keep all the official papers. Ask my wife for the dispatch box. You must sign as a witness. At the same time, the patient, Gopal, said to his friend, Dr. Raman, that he must sign on the will paper as a witness. Hearing these words from the lips of the patient, he exclaimed, oh, you are exerting yourself too much. I said to you, no, not to use yourself both physically and mentally. Why do you not keep quiet? Why do you disturb yourself? You are exerting yourself too much. You must remain quiet. You must be quieter. And Dr. Raman felt idiotic. Idiotic means like an idiot or foolish, saying the same thing again and again. He felt idiotic to be repeating it. Then he thought, how fine it would be. He reflected. Reflected means contemplated or thought deeply. And what did he think? How fine it would be to drop the whole business and run away somewhere without answering anybody any question. But the patient, Gopal, clasped the wrist of Dr. Raman. The patient clasped the doctor's wrist with his weak fingers and said, Ramu. See, as the dearest friend of the patient, Dr. Raman was called as Ramu by his friend Gopal. Gopal said to Dr. Raman, Ramu, it is my good fortune, it is my good luck that you are by my side. It is my good luck that you are here at this moment. I can trust your word. I can't leave my property unsettled. And if I leave my property, if I die without settling my property, that would bring endless misery to my wife and my children. That will mean endless misery for my wife and children. If I die without settling my property, without transferring my property in the name of my wife and children, that would bring endless misery to my wife and children, and I don't want to die without settling my property. And the family matter was also known to Dr. Raman, as Dr. Raman was very close to Gopal. You know all about Shubha and his gang. Shubha and his gang were after the property of Gopal. So he requested, Dr. Raman, tell me the truth. Let me sign before it is too late. Let me sign the will before it is too late. If I am going to tell me so that I will put my signature on the will paper so that there won't be any problem to my wife and my children after my death. So he implored Dr. Raman to tell him the truth. Tell me ... Yes, presently means at present or soon, replied the doctor. He walked off to the car which was in front of the house of Gopal. He walked off to his car, sat in the back seat of his car and thought deeply. He looked at the wristwatch. He looked at his watch and it was midnight. If the will was to be signed, it must be done within next 2 hours. He was sure. Dr. Raman was dead sure that the patient would not survive after 2 that night. So he thought, if the will was to be signed, then it must be signed within next 2 hours. Otherwise, it could never be signed. He could not be responsible for a mess there, that untidy or dirty there. He knew too well the family affairs. Dr. Raman knew too well about the family affairs of his dearest friend Gopal, and he also knew about those wolves. Here wolves refers to Shubha and his gang, how they were after the property of his dearest friend Gopal. But what could he do? If he asked him to sign the will, it would virtually mean a death sentence. If he said, if Dr. Raman said to the patient Gopal to put his signature on the will, it means a virtually death sentence. If he asked him to sign the will, it would virtually mean a death sentence and it would destroy the thousandth part of a chance that the patient had of survival. So he was in a dilemma. He knew the condition of the patient. Only 2 more hours are there. And Dr. Raman was sure the patient would not survive after 2 that night. And if the will was to be signed, it must be signed within 2 hours. Otherwise, it could never be signed. And he would not be responsible for that. And if he told the patient the truth, if Dr. Raman told him to put his signature on the will paper, he would inform indirectly that the patient was going to die, and it would destroy the thousandth part of the chance of any of his survival, and would destroy the thousandth part of a chance that the patient had of survival. He got down from the chair and went in. He resumed his seat in the chair. The patient was not asleep. He was staring. The patient was staring at him appealingly, with a request, with an appeal. The doctor said to himself. The doctor did not say to the patient, but the doctor said to himself, if my word can save his life, he shall not die. Here see, the modal auxiliary shall is used with third person singular number. If my word can save his life, he shall not die. He will be damned. Here, damned means criticized. He will be damned. Then he said to his patient, to his dearest friend. Of course, his dearest friend was in bed and he was the patient. He called, Gopal, listen. And this was the first time he was going to do a piece of acting before a patient. This was the first time Dr. Raman was going to do a piece of acting before a patient. Simulate, and remember the meaning of the word simulate, S-I-M-U-L-A-T, pretend. Simulate means pretend a feeling, and conceal. Conceal means hide. Conceal his judgment. He stooped. Stooped means bent over the patient and said with a deliberate emphasis. And what did he say? Intentionally or deliberately to the patient, he said to his dearest friend Dr. Raman, don't worry about the will now. You are going to leave. Your heart is absolutely fine, absolutely sound. See, this much only he said to his dearest friend Gopal. What did he say? Don't worry for the will. You are going to leave. Your heart is absolutely sound. And when the patient heard these words from the mouth of his dearest friend, Dr. Raman, a new glow, here glow means sign, suffused. Suffused means also spread the patient's face as he heard it. He knew, Gopal knew that his dearest friend Raman, Dr. Raman, never told a lie. He only told his patients the truth. If there was no survival, If there was no chance of survival, he would tell his patients that they would die. If there was a chance of survival, he would tell the patient and his people that the patient would recover. As he heard all these words from the mouth of his dearest friend Dr. Raman, he trusted him, he believed in his words. As Dr. Raman said to him, "Don't worry for the will, you are going to live. Your heart is absolutely fine." So there spread a new glow on the face of the patient. A new glow suffused the patient's face as he heard it. The patient asked in a tone of relief, "Do you say so? Do you say so? If it comes from your lips, if you say so, it must be true," said Gopal to his friend Dr. Raman. Then Dr. Raman said to the patient, "Quite right. You are improving. You are improving every second. Now have a nice sleep. Sleep peacefully. Sleep in peace. You must not exert," again he said, "you must not exert yourself under any situation or on any account. You must sleep very soundly. And I will see you next day morning. I will see you in the morning." The patient looked at his friend Dr. Raman gratefully for a moment and then closed his eyes. And when Dr. Raman found that the patient was asleep, he picked up his bag and went out, shutting the door sharply behind him. On his way home, he stopped for a moment at his hospital, called out his assistant, and said that Lawley extension case. See, after midnight, when he was on his way home, what did Dr. Raman do? Dr. Raman stopped on his way home for a moment at his clinic or at his hospital. Then he called out his assistant and said about that Lawley extension case, and said about Gopal's case, about his friend's case, and said that Lawley extension case, you might expect the collapse. Here collapse means death. See, he said to his friend all the comforting words. And what did he say to his friend? Don't worry for the will. You are going to live. Your heart is absolutely fine, and I will see you in the morning. And also told him to have a sound sleep. Saying so, when he returned home, on his way home, he stopped at his hospital, called out his assistant, and told his assistant that he would expect the collapse or the death of the patient at any moment now. You might expect the collapse any second now. So, what did he do? He sent that assistant to his friend's house. Go there with a tube of ... Here tube means injection. He told him to go to the house of his dearest friend with an injection. And what kind of injection it is? Not mentioned here, in hand. And give it. And give that injection in case the struggle is too hard at the end. Hurry up. He sent his assistant to go to the house of his dearest friend Gopal with an injection quickly. Next morning, He was back at Lawley Extension at 10. At 10 a.m., Dr. Raman reached the house of his dearest friend Gopal. He was sure that Gopal would not be alive. Dr. Raman was sure that he would see the corpse or the dead body of his friend Gopal. So next morning, Dr. Raman was back at Lawley Extension at 10. From his car, he made a dash. He rushed to the room where his friend was lying on a bed. From his car, he made a dash for the sick bed. And when he reached the sick bed, he found that the patient was awake. The patient was not in sleep. The patient was awake and looked very well. The assistant sent by Dr. Raman reported him about the satisfactory pulse. The doctor put his tube, here tube means the stethoscope. The doctor put his tube at his heart, examined or listened for a while and told the sick man's wife. See, when he was asked earlier about the condition of Gopal by the lady of the house, he said to her not to be excited too much and he also suggested her not to ask any question to him. But now, from his side, he said to his friend's wife that don't look so unhappy, lady. Your husband will live to be 90. And he told the sick man's wife that she should not look so sad, as her husband would live to be 90. When Dr. Raman and his assistant were going back to the hospital, the assistant sitting beside Dr. Raman in the car asked, "Sir, is Gopal going to live?" Dr. Raman this time was too confident, and he said to his assistant, "I will bet on it. Nothing would happen to my dearest friend Gopal. He will live to be 90. He has turned the corner, past the critical period, turned the corner. He has turned the corner. And how? He has turned the corner and how he has survived this attack, this heart attack will be a puzzle to me. That to me refers to Dr. Raman all his life. See, only the words of Dr. Raman saved the life of his dearest friend Gopal. Gopal's life was very critical, and Dr. Raman was sure that his friend would not recover from his illness. Dr. Raman was sure that his friend would pass away. But when he told soothing words to his dearest friend and told him that he was improving every second, he was going to live, he should not worry for the will, as his heart was absolutely fine. These words were sufficient to bring a change in the patient, and the patient believed the words of Dr. Raman. So, patient's life hung on the words of doctors. So doctors should be very kind and compassionate while dealing with their patients. We will go through next lesson in our next video. Thank you all.